Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are here to do the weekly review for the first week of September 2024. So here again we have my cat. He always likes to participate whenever I grab my camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and push him outside of the frame. This way I can actually plan. Okay, so I have here my catch-all planner and we're going to go ahead and grab my daily review and weekly review cards, and we are going to go through all of them. And I'm also going to do the weekly review sheet, which is a new one that I introduced in the last video. I'm just going to reduce the brightness a little bit so you can see better. So this is the weekly review. I tried printing it in a blank sheet of paper and also in a grid paper, but in the grid paper it didn't look great. But I don't have many blank sheets like these with the correct holes. So I think I'm gonna make do in two sides of the sheet, and then this is going to stay for the first week of September, and this one I'm going to use for the second week. I just have to find my Muji pen. Here it is. So I think we can start going through the week, and then I can go ahead and start with the weekly review here. So this week went from the 2nd until the 8th. We are currently on Saturday, so on the 7th. And I like to do the weekly review before the end of the weekend because the most important part are the weekdays. So here I was traveling for work. As you can see, I was following some activities at the lab and especially a pressure test. And I also had an interview on Friday for another company. I'm not actually thinking about changing companies at the moment, but this opportunity came up and I decided to take the interview because you never know. Anyway, so this was this week. Let's go ahead and do the weekly review. So for the summary of the week, basically this week I was at the lab and I was following a pressure test. Like I said before, everything went well, and I also had an interview, so that's what I'm going to write right here. Okay, top 3 highlights of the week: interview with another company, positive pressure test, and the Rabbit 2.0 box arrived from inside. So this is the stationery shop that I love that makes this planner here. So I bought a subscription box from them, and it arrived 2 months later. You have to be a little bit patient with this company because it is all handmade, so it takes time, but it's all worth it because the quality is great and the products are beautiful. You're going to see this unboxing, I think, Wednesday next week. Now, things that made me happy and proud. There's something else that happened that was a highlight, but I can put it later. So I'm just going to put here the interview for a job that I was well fit. There you go. I'm thankful for, now I'm going to put being able to talk to the high levels of the company during a lunch with them. So I was one of the few people that had lunch with the leaders, and that was quite nice. Now let's go ahead and check what I put for the last week of, oh, it's not here, so I'm not going to be able to check. But let's do a self-evaluation. I'm going to start with exercise. Then I'm gonna put work, planning. I'm actually going to have a look at what I wrote last week. So I put productivity, exercise, sleep, and rest, spending, my mood, YouTube, And that's pretty much it. So instead of work, I actually put productivity. So let's go ahead and evaluate all of these. So exercise, I think I did quite well. I'm going to put 4 because out of 4 days, I went on 3. So if I went on 4, it would be 5. In terms of work, it was okay, but I was not very productive outside of following lab activities. So I'm going to give myself a 3. In terms of planning, I did great. I'm gonna give myself a 5. As you can see, I filled up all of the days. In terms of sleep and rest, I went to bed at 9:30 or 10 p.m. and I woke up at 5, 6, so it was great. Spending, I didn't buy much, so I'm just going to put 2 because I could have gone to restaurants that were less expensive during my trip, but that's fine. In terms of mood, I think I was in a okay mood, so neutral. In terms of YouTube, I did great. And I think that's all. Now, best of the week. I'm going to put interview, lunch with leaders. I'm going to put here found tickets to the Imagine Dragons show. Inside box arrived. Pressure test was positive. And I think that's pretty much it for now. Let's go ahead and check the goals that I reached during this week. So I signed the RB2 revision 1 RLI, which is great. Had an interview, and then challenges and lessons learned. I have to sell myself for more. Sell myself is not as in actually selling myself, but I need to think about salary differently for my interview. Ask for more. For next week, we are going back to the lab. Let's see what else we have for next week. We have 2025 planner launch, and we have a music show. Now, in terms of habits, let's go back and see what we weren't able to maintain. So I think we did pretty well this week. Yeah, I think we did pretty well. So in habits that I wasn't able to maintain, I'm just going to write do better at PM routine. Okay, this is the weekly review for the week of September 2nd until the 8th. And I'm going to leave this, let me check. I think I'm going to leave this right here. Or should I leave it here? No, I think I'm gonna leave it here. Okay, so this is for the following week. Now that we're done with the weekly page review, let's go ahead and go through our daily review. Count project hours, that's done. Update weekly, let's see if that's done. The weeklies are here. There you go. So these were my plans for the weeklies. I'm just going to leave it like that, actually. I'm not going to do much else with this. Now, update the meals. Let's go back and update this. I think we are pretty much with everything updated. So on Friday, let me think what I had for lunch. It was pizza, and then I didn't have dinner. Now, in terms of crossing the days on the monthly, I think I already did that. Yeah, it's all crossed out. Check the habits, already did that. Write the mood and write the weather. I already did that as well, as you can see. What I can do though is just go ahead and use my markers to mark the mood that I had. So I think I'm gonna do that. Let's start with the weather control. So first of all, when it's sunny, I'm going to use this yellow here. So we had a lot of sun these past few months. I think I'm gonna do it like this. And then I like to just put the number before, because this way I don't need to take all of my pens with me. I can just choose a day to do this, and I think that works better. So there you go. Now, anxious. Is there any day that I felt anxious? I don't think so. So that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. So for blue, it was raining. So I have here a couple of blues. These ones in January, and then these ones here as well. But we haven't had as many rainy days. Now let's see what else I can put here. Windy. Windy is 7. So 7 we have just one. Let me see what I can put here. Green is going to be happy, so I have quite a few days that I was happy. Usually I am in a good mood, so that's not very unusual for me. Let me just put all of the green ones. And if nothing happened during the week that made me upset, I'm usually happy. Okay, so let's see if blue, there's something sad. There was not a day that I was sad. That's fine. Now angry. 4. I don't think I have a day that I was angry. Oh, there is a day that I was angry, which is strange because I can get angry kind of easily sometimes. Okay, that's great. Let's see if there's anything else that I can put. No, I think that's it. Now I'll have to grab my other markers. So I have a couple here. Let's start with gray. Gray is for cloudy days here. So I had quite a few cloudy days this week. And here as well. Okay, is there gray here? Yes, tired. I do feel tired quite a few times per year. And especially these few months, I have been very tired. I don't know if it is the fact that I'm starting to go to the gym more often, so I get more tired. Not sure if that's it. Okay, so next is proud or accomplished. So it's 8. I do feel proud and accomplished a couple of times per month, usually. Then 2 is excited. So I'm just going to use this color here for excited. Here as well. Now, let me see what other colors I have here. Okay, I have normal, which is this brown here. Normal is like neutral. I'm not happy, I'm not unhappy, I'm just living. So this is 9, this is 9, and this is also 9. 10 is extremely happy, which I don't have the color here with me. I'll have to grab in my stash. I have lazy as well. So here's lazy. If a date doesn't have a color, I'm just going to put normal. For example, this one. So 10 is extremely happy. I'm just going to put that later. Here we have raining. Too hot is going to be this red one, I think, which is 4. So 4 is too hot. Days that are extremely hot are very difficult. 5 is too cold. I don't have the color here either, so I'm just going to have to grab that. And windy and heavy rain. Heavy rain, I have got a couple here and here. And then cloudy, I also have here. Perfect. I'm just going to grab the ones that are missing. Okay. I think it's this one, which is extremely happy here. It's very similar to this color. It's going to be hard to distinguish. And then too cold, which is this blue here. Perfect. Now that we're done with that, let's get back into the daily review. We are done with that. Now for the weekly review, we need to complete the daily sheets. I already did that. It's pretty well full, except Friday here. So we did end up going out at 5 here. And then we did commute, and this took longer than expected because we needed to change to go to the car rent place. And then here I was at the airport. So I went back home and then I did commute for half an hour. Here I did relax and take a shower. And then here I was resting at the bed. And then my day ended at 11:30. Okay, so now it's all complete. Next up is going to be to update the weekly meetings, projects, and deliverable hours. So we're going to go ahead and grab these two sheets. Go back here to the dailies, and we are going to count the project hours. So this is probably going to be very quick because the project that I worked on the most was the 75049. So let me go ahead and do this. So this was 0 hours. Here we had 1 hour and the rest was 7 hours and a half for this. For Tuesday, it was 1 hour and a half for the first project here, and then the rest was for 75049, which was 7 hours. And I did do some extra hours because of the trip, but this is going to be counted on another system. So this here was 1 hour and a half. And then for this other one was 7 hours. Thursday we had 70002. We had 75049 and we had 70020. So this was half an hour. This was 6 hours and a half. And this was 1 hour and a half. And finally we have Friday, which I did do a couple of things. First 75049, which was 6 hours and a half. And then 53068, which was 2 hours. Okay, perfect. Now let's add everything up. I just need my calculator. So for 7002, we had 0, 1.5 hours, plus 1.5 hours, plus 1.5 as well, and 0. So we had 4.5 hours. Now for 75049, we had 7.5 hours, plus 7 hours plus 7 hours plus 6 hours and a half plus 6 hours and a half, which gives us 34 hours and 5. Then we have 53068, which we have 1 hour, then 2 hours, which gives us 3 hours this week. And finally, we have 70020, which gave us half an hour only. Okay, so these were all of the hours for the projects this week. Now let's go into the activities. So let's start with 7002, which I did here. So we have RBs, which was 1.5 here, 2 here, and only 2, so 2 hours here. We had meetings as well. So for meetings, I think it was only on Wednesday, which was 1.5 hours. Yeah, only on Wednesday, 1.5 hours. And then we also had the RLI, which was 1 hour, and that's all. This gives us 4 hours and a half. Now for the 70020, I only had the dissection report, which was half an hour. For 75049, I had the mounting follow-up, which was basically the whole time that we had. So all the 34.5 hours. Now for the 53068, let's see what I had. I think it was T1 support and T3 support, because I didn't participate in any meetings this week. So we had half an hour for each one of them here, then 1 hour for each one of them here. So 1.5 hours for each one, which gives us exactly 3 hours. Okay, so this was very quick this week because we didn't have many activities. So this one is going to be pink. Then this one is going to be green. This one is blue. Where's the blue? Here is the blue. And this one can be yellow. Oh no, I messed it up. The blue was this one. So yellow is going to be this one. Okay, I did mess up a little bit, but that's fine. So let's go ahead and put this back into the weeklies. Here it is, this first page, and then the second page. Perfect. Now let's see, what else do I need to do? Update Muse, habit tracker, weekly and monthly tasks. So let's have a look at the weekly tasks. These ones are recurring tasks in blue. Then this one I didn't do this week. This was moved to next week. Test procedure template, I kind of did that but didn't finish. This was moved to next week, and this was done this week. RLI template, I kind of did that but didn't finish. And then this was done. That's great. So let's go ahead, and I don't know at what point it stopped recording, but that was everything. So let's go ahead and write down NSIL anchoring. Didn't have time to start because I was falling. the activities at the lab. No urgency yet due to late delivery. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what else we have. Task procedure template. The last point to be concluded is the names of the channels of the sensors, which is an EDC with the lab, to be concluded next week. Okay, let's see what else. FTB day planning. Didn't have time to meet and check how things are going. Okay. And finally, RLI template. Still missing a couple of fixes, and I need to check the comments from the IDC. So this is the status and the comments for each one of these tasks for the week. Now let's go ahead and also add accounts payable, which I did for the trip. Okay, that's great. And then I think that's everything for the weekly review, right? I just need to check the budget, but the budget I'm pretty sure I already did during the days. So that was it for this weekly review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye, have a lovely week.